Butch, how are you? Congratulations. Thank you. While we get settled here, a reminder that as a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. And when we get to the question and answer period, please provide your name and affiliation. After each time you ask a question, we'll have one each time, one question. And please, no video from your cell phones here in this room. Starting off with a statement from Coach Thompson. Congratulations.
Thank you. Exciting to get a win for us here in Omaha for our program. These three men were sitting next to me were major contributors in the ball game for sure. The beginning and the end with the pitching I thought was really good. Trace Bright, I think I gained more respect for him today than ever. Thought he was one hitter away. I don't know if he knows that, but one hitter away of coming out in the third inning. But he weathered the storm. We really were scouting report interested. Can their fastball survive? And really their first two runs come off of breaking balls that I can't see from the side, but maybe grabbed a little more plate, or not our best breaking balls, how they got their first two runs. And one just barely hit the chalk down the third baseline, and he held it together and come back out with his fastball in the third inning and got us all the way through the fifth. Left a runner at third to finish his outing. Sheehan gave us an inning. I'm a pitching guy, so I always think how important that is. And then with two outs in the seventh, and they're at their three-hole, you know, my job is to get Berkey in the game. Got out of that, and then we were able to get to 4, 5, and 6 as he needed to be pitching against them there in the eighth, and then we were able to get through the ninth inning there. And then my favorite offensive inning was the fifth inning. I think Brody got a ground ball to the sixth hole. We finally just got to get to a hit-and-run approach, scrapping our at-bats. We had 5 3-2 counts. We lost them. I know we had an 8-pitch at-bat by Rambush to start off the game, and then just the full counts we couldn't win. And then I'm just tired of watching us sit there having at-bats, so we did some goofy stuff. We bunted the ball too hard for the first out. We did a first and third, and we delayed too much from leaving at third, and I thought it made me happy. It was goofy baseball, but we scored 4 runs the very next inning because it just seems like we got each other's attention. I was watching Oklahoma last night, and they make the first and the third out at third base, and everybody's throwing trash at them, and I'm like, they're right where they need to be. They're playing, they're attacking, and they're going for it. And I thought that helped us work into creating the sixth inning. And then Cole Foster had a big hit for us and has been struggling just health-wise to stay on the field, and was a big hit for us. But thankful to get a win and look forward to competing again tomorrow.
Okay, we'll start off with questions for the student athletes. If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. Start here with Aaron, and then we'll get.
Thank you. Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Trace, what do you think were the key adjustments that you were able to make after that second, third inning to kind of find your groove and get deep into the ball game?
Location, that was the biggest thing. They were aggressive, so being able to flip it off speed in there, behind in the count, was huge for me. We knew that they were aggressive going in, but they jumped on some first pitches and made me pay for it. But I think I got my command later in the first a little bit, and then better in the third more so. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Okay.
So far this postseason, you guys
name and
have
affiliation, please.
Sorry, that's my fault. Andrew Stefaniak, AuburnDaily.com, and you all have sent 3 Pac-12 teams home this postseason throughout the regional, super regional, and here in Omaha. How does that feel to represent your conference this well and to play baseball against one of the top conferences and beat them?
Why don't you start, Kaysen?
Anytime we can play good teams, we want to represent the SEC well. Obviously, all Pac-12 teams we played, I respect them. They have really good players, but being from the Southeastern Conference, having 4 Western Division teams in here, we just want to play good baseball and try to represent our conference well. And obviously it feels good to win against such great teams like Stanford and Oregon State and UCLA. All have great programs, all have great players. We're just trying to represent the conference well.
Okay, here in the back. Mark?
Mitch Kutcher, CWS 247. Blake and Trace, what kind of effect has Tim Hudson had on the pitching staff?
I mean, he's been awesome. He actually helped me pick up my cutter, and he's work. I mean, he'll work with anybody if you ask him. He's always looking to help. And you know, after every inning, I come in the dugout and I'll go over there and talk to him first thing. I'll be like, he'll ask what's working, you know, what's not working, and then right before I go back out, I'm like, what do you think I should do to these guys? Like, who do I have coming up? How should I pitch these guys? How should I work around them? Are there any places I need to be worried about? And I mean, with a mind like that in the dugout, you've got to take advantage of it. So
I would say that he's with that much experience, there's a ton of knowledge, and you know, trying to pick his brain all the time at practice, you know, even when you're not pitching, about things, how he sees things, that's big for me. So I try and, you know, get little tidbits of information that may help me that I can apply to my game.
Okay, back here.
Ryan Hennessy, NBC 13 in Birmingham. For Trace, you hear your coach, you know, ups and downs of this game with your backs up against the wall. When you saw Cole make that play, what was that going through your head at that moment?
You know, he's been great all year. You know, big swing today for us. You know, he was fighting the heat, which was amazing for him to finish that game. All 9 innings was big for him. But, you know, I know that the offense was about to heat up at some point, and I knew that they had our back. And then, you know, Tommy and Berkey coming in after me, I knew that they had the game right where they wanted it. And in their hands, I was happy with them finishing the game.
Okay, here.
Adam Cole, the Opelika Auburn News. A question for Blake. I know Butch had kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in the season, kind of getting you back to top form since that injury during the Tennessee series. You've looked probably as best as you have all year from Supers till now. Just wanted to ask if there was maybe a point recently where you felt like you've gotten to that top form, and just I guess what's been working best for you since the Supers?
honestly, it's all starting to just click at the right time. Like I can't really like put a finger on where, like what exactly part of my game is getting better. But I know like my focus when I come in the game, I'm there first through 9 innings, ready to go. Just the mental aspect that's been locked since like postseason plays come around, and then everything's starting to click on the mound. So.
Okay, Jason.
Jason Caldwell, Auburn 247. Kaysen, just you touched on Cole's swing, but how big is that for an offense to have one of those breakthrough swings in a game like this? You know, especially the way that y'all guys have been the last couple of games swinging the bat.
You know, it's huge. Like Coach Thompson said, we lost a lot of 3-2 counts. You know, we were battling, and obviously offensively we haven't been where we want to be the last 2 or 3 games. But for Cole to really put a spark in our offense, and I mean, you could tell just everyone's at bats. We're just we're a little bit more on the attack after Cole's big swing. I hope that can carry momentum into this week, into tomorrow when we compete against whoever we're playing. But that swing meant a lot, and Cole came up in a big moment, and you know he's been huge for us all year. But that really put a spark in our offense today.
Okay, we have a question on Zoom right now. Please give your name and affiliation and ask your question.
Yes, Mark Murphy, inside the Auburn Tigers. This is for Trace. What does it mean to you to get the start today, considering you had such a rough outing out in Corvallis, and I guess you got to feel great about the way you pitched.
Yeah, you want to bounce back. You know, that was a tough outing for me, you know, but I endured that whole game. My offense had my back that first game, and, you know, we pulled it out. But you try and learn from it and move on. But I wanted to get us off on the right foot, and I kind of had us behind the 8 ball there for a few innings. But, you know, like Kaysen said, once the offense got rolling, you know, I knew that we were in a good place with the bullpen set up and how we were with that lead.
Okay, right here.
TomGreenale.com. For any of you guys, I think on the broadcast we all saw that little bird in the dugout. Can you guys tell us, you know, what happened there and when you guys first saw it?
They were playing, so I was over there front row seats with the bird. Somehow it might managed to find its way in our dugout. Maybe a little rally bird or something, but you know, it seemed to work for us.
Okay, Mike, this will be our last question for the players.
Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. Blake, can you just talk about that first batter you faced in the 7th inning and coming in with the bases loaded like that?
When I was coming in, you kind of try to, I mean, you know the bases are loaded, but you kind of have to flush it. I mean, your main focus is that first guy out of the pen. That's what we focus on as a bullpen. And coming in there and being able to command some pitches. I mean, I don't think I had my fastball command all day, but the cutter was working and the changeup was working, and that's what I had to lean on. And I got, I think it was a 3-2 count or something. I mean, I was right on the brink of walking in, but thankfully I got that strikeout and got us off the field.
Okay, guys, thank you. A reminder that the locker room is closed, and George will help you with any other requests you might have. So you're excused. Trace, that was the scrawniest war eagle I've ever seen.
Where am I at? I don't even see these things. I didn't even know there was a bird. Yeah, what am,
You're
where am I?
busy.
I don't know what I am,
Thank
but I
you.
didn't see a bird.
Thank you. Okay, questions for Butch, and we'll start right back here.
Butch, when you heard your players,
Name and affiliation.
sorry, Ryan Hennessy, NBC 13 in Birmingham. When you heard your players say, you were kind of explaining that you had to get creative in the 5th and the 6th. That kind of they went on attack mode. Is that what you need to hear come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday now?
Yeah, we're just at a stage, that was, I think we traveled a bunch, 5,000 miles, and quick turnaround for us. And I just want us to get our feet back underneath us. But more importantly, I want us to, man, if you leave here, my job is to keep a group of players and coaches to leave with no regrets. Just let it hang out. What are we going to do? Screw something up or make a mistake? And I want them to attack as much as they can. I think Dan Gable, I said it, attack 3 times. He wouldn't say it once. Dan Gable will go attack, attack, attack. And I want them to go out that way. And it's not always going to be perfect, but I just don't want to sit there for 9 innings and us just have at bats. So that's why I'm trying to make a deal out of that. I kind of asked for it. So anything that looks dumb, it's always my fault anyway. So I might as well go ahead and call it out and get them stirred up a little bit. And I do. I think the 5th inning led to a chance in the 6th.
Okay, okay. Yep.
Butch, Brandon Stoltz, Auburn Rivals. How big is it after 2019 getting that win and not going home to a barbecue like you said? And how big is that momentum going to carry over into the next game?
Yeah, I don't know what carries over to the next game, but absolutely our program winning a game here is not just getting here, but winning a game against an amazing team. Dave, I think about Marquist all those years growing up. What an amazing program. Just a chance to compete against them. I've embraced every one of these teams that we've got to play because I respect the game. I care about the game so much. It even gets me in trouble sometimes, but I care about our sport, and I think it's at one of the best places it's ever been. And just an opportunity to get to compete against that program is a box that I get to check personally, but our team is another sense of accomplishment for our program. So it's not just a win. It's important for us as we continue to try to build ours and build a brand of respectability. Sincere respectability with our program. So it is a big deal, and it gives us a chance to compete again. I don't know. Our word today was surrender, and I'm sitting in my hotel last night, and I'm like, all right, y'all telling me only 4 teams out of the last 40 years have lost that first game and won a national championship. Who is it? And then I looked, and I was like, okay, well, Pat Casey did it in 6 and 18, and Tanner did it in 10. How about I call them tonight? Since I'm sitting here. And both of those men got back, and they both gave me paragraphs of taking me through the journey with their team. And I'm like, like I say, man, the man or woman of the team that will never quit, they got a chance. And I just want us to fight, and I want us to attack. And that's all you can ask for. The score will take care of itself. But those men, it was like they were excited to hear from me. And they're like, yeah, this is what we did. This is what we talked about. This became our focus. And I'm just hunting for every inch we can for our program. So thankful for today and excited about tomorrow.
Okay, Mike.
Mike LaPresta, NCAA.com. In the 6th inning, you got one guy who takes a foul off his shin and looks pretty painful, and he stays in there. You've got a guy who, by all accounts, is looking like he feels really lousy and gets a big hit. Can you just talk about the sheer grit that was on display in that inning, and how bad does he feel?
Yeah, he doesn't feel great. Shouldn't he be in here? He got 3 RBIs and 2 hits. He should be in here right now. So you can imagine he's probably getting IVs is what I was was told, because he should be sitting here at the table visiting with us right now. So he's doing all that he can. Like he barely pulled into second, and he dropped his head, probably the biggest hit of his life, and he's trying to keep his head up. So he's just done an amazing job. I think back to game one now, people really pile on people when you don't swing it offensively. Team looks lethargic when you're not getting hits sometime. But I got little Bello trying to run through the left field wall. He's trying to fight with a fan. He's diving on the line. I got Brody, took a bite out of the tarp. I just, from a coaching, I'm always want to be level 2, not like on my couch at level 1. I know they're fighting for us. Sometimes it just doesn't always look as pretty or clean or the execution, because this is what this is all down to. Whenever you have success here, or you're playing somebody that's the best of the best of the best. Every one of these teams had to climb a mountain. Everybody's hot enough. Everybody's good enough. So, but these guys are giving us all they got. I love my team.
Okay, Adam.
Butch, Adam Cole, Opelika Auburn News. I just kind of wanted to ask about you guys. Really roughed up their best pitcher, who's been dominant for them all year, and I know you only got so much time to game plan, but was curious how much of the game planning maybe went into going up against Quinn Matthews, and I guess the success in that frame. Was wondering too if it was a blend of the bats finally breaking through, or you guys maybe having a plan for going up against him.
Yeah, I think we finally just exhaled. It's really neat how the players, their perspective, when Cole hit the ball, that was a big exhale for our offense. But like I say, that 5th inning just starting it up, trying to do a little bit. I just think that got us wanting to go a little bit, and we knew we'd see him. We've been watching video of him. I mean, that's their guy, and thankfully we got in there that early. It's hot out there, and I looked up at the board one time. He's at 56 pitches, and he's an amazing pitcher. And then they brought in a lefty there to finish a game. It was 95. It was pretty good too. So all in all, we knew if we had any chance of winning today, we were going to have to deal with him, and I thought we did a pretty good job. And we brought Burkhalter into the 7th there. Come on, Sheehan. We got 2 outs and nobody on. We got a hit that, we just defensive replaced there. And that was the one place, the park today, where that ball was traveling, was the left center field. And we took a little flat route, and then you couldn't catch up on it late. We hit a batter, and then another single sharply. So we, like I said, when you're right at that part of that lineup, we had to go ahead and dump our guy in, but we got Burkhalter in there a little bit later. And he had a lead, so... But Matthews is a really good player. We really didn't know what kind of starting pitcher we would get. I think they've moved around a little bit with their 2-hole guys, and we just tried to take the 2 or 3 best guys and started preparing for them. And Matthews is absolutely one that we watched a lot of video and tried to talk about what we have to do against him.
Okay, Jason, this will be our last question for Butch.
Jason, Auburn 247, Butch, you're a pitching guy at heart. What's it mean for you to see an outing like that, not only from Trace, but to have a pitching outing like that in that big of a moment?
Yeah, just I looked at it. We struck out 13 the other night. We struck out 16 batters today. I had no idea. And Trace, they hit him. He made a couple of breaking balls, but he steadied himself and he went to another level in the 3rd. That's a developmental piece where I'm proud of him. But, at the end of the day, he was going to make Stanford beat him, and he finally settled in the ball game. He had 8 strikeouts and no walks. Berkey had 5 strikeouts and no walks, and he got hit in the butt with a line drive there, but he's only walked 7 guys. He does have the ability, whatever you think skill level is of Burkhalter, he can at least shove it in the strike zone. And when you can do that, the tenets of the baseball game usually work out. So we get out of there with 1 walk and I think 1 hit batter against a really good offensive club, and that gave us a chance. It's just like when I was bragging on the tipping my hat the best I could to Ole Miss the other night. There was just no walks. They just did not help our offense any. We got a little more help today, and then we had a couple of big hits, Foster and really they handled, I thought they pitched Sonny tremendous. They would go up in the zone, off the plate. He had a really good at bat, but it was a fly ball to right. There wasn't much happening to right today. And Pierce and Foster had a couple of big hits for us today.
Butch, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Okay.
Do I need to leave this? I wrote all over it. Okay. Okay.
off your cell phones. All that stuff still, no video, et cetera, et cetera.
On. And I'm proud of these guys, and nothing will take away from what we've accomplished this year. And I mentioned to them in our huddle that, you know, when time passes, no one's going to remember that, you know, what the score was of any of our games or what our record here at Omaha was. I think what I will remember is I got a chance to go to the College World Series with the team that I love and spend about a week trying to play for the national championship. And along the way, we won the Pac-12 title, we won the Pac-12 tournament title, we won a regional, we won a super regional to earn the opportunity to come here. I don't think we could ask any more from our guys. And sometimes the game rewards you, or it falls in your lap. You're just going to play well and kind of get on a run. You know, as I mentioned, like in '87, I think when we got here and won the title, we didn't play our best, but we hung around long enough and finally played really good baseball by the end. And sometimes you got to find a way to win and just kind of hang around, and then you'll play your best baseball at some point during the tournament. We were still battling to try to find that. But again, I'm so proud of this team and our program and our coaches, and there is no shame in our showing here at Omaha. And I love these guys, and that's the part that I'll remember.
Okay, we'll have questions for the student athletes, and we'll start right here.
Matt Tallarini with World Baseball Network. Drew, how did you feel today pitching with 6 strikeouts, 4 innings, and 3 hits allowed? What are your biggest upend with your mechanics coming into this offseason?
I mean, today, and to answer your first question, today I felt good. I mean, I was just attacking their hitters. I think the biggest thing was just command of all 3 of my pitches. I think we played great defense behind me, and I was able to, you know, early on in the game, I was getting behind guys a little bit too much, but able to come back in those counts. And I think in the off season, in terms of mechanically, just try to use more of my legs, add a few miles per hour to that fastball. And also just give myself a little bit of a break. I've been throwing a lot, so just those 2 things probably. And but overall, I felt good today.
Okay, Joe.
Joe Healy, Baseball America. Adam, you guys got to Bright a little bit early. Obviously, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th was a little bit of a different story. Did you see something different in the way he was attacking you guys that allowed him to settle in after those first 2 innings?
I mean, hats off to him. He was making good pitches, pounding the zone. I think it was just we weren't as relentless as we needed to be. It was more of an approach side. We kind of let up, got a little too comfortable when we should have, I don't know, kept our foot on the gas a little bit.
Aaron?
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball, for both of you guys. I mean, when you kind of reflect back on this season that you guys had, and certainly the run, you know, to get here, and the pack, you know, both regular season and conference tournament. I mean, what's going to think stick out in your minds the most?
Adam, you start.
I mean, we started Pac-12 1-5 and turned it all the way around and came here. I don't think anybody thought we were capable of doing that. And just like we believed in one another, and I know we played for each other. It's a lot of memories. I'm gonna miss this team a lot, man. I mean, honestly, like obviously the games or winning the Pac-12 was super sick and all that stuff, but I'm just gonna miss being with these guys, being in the locker room, hanging out, cracking jokes, and all that stuff.
Drew?
Yeah, I think like what he said. I mean, on the field, obviously, I feel like we didn't get off to a great start and to, you know, get to where we are now. Even with being down 2 runs in the regional final against Texas State, this team just never gave up. We didn't care about what people thought or, you know, what kind of situation we were in. We were just going to give it our all. But like Adam said, I think the biggest thing that, you know, hurts right now is just the fact that I'm not going to be able to play with those guys and this team ever again. And yeah, it's a tough. That's really what hit me after the game. First thing wasn't, oh, we didn't win a national title. Oh, you know, we could have beat Auburn today. It was more just, I'm not going to be able to play with these 26 other guys on the field right now, and that hurt.
Okay, we have a question from Zoom now. Please state your name and affiliation and ask the question.
Yeah, Steve Cronin from the San Francisco Chronicle. Adam, your day obviously was good offensively, but as good as your offense had been for the past month and a half coming to Omaha, it was not nearly that good the past 2 games. Any specific reason why?
I don't know. I mean, obviously we're trying our best out there. I think it was just probably we let the moment get a little too big maybe. Obviously a big stadium, a lot of fans, and just got to slow down and relax into our offense. Esker talks about it all the time, and I think we just didn't do that to the best of our ability.
Okay, Joe, one more question.
Joe Healy, Baseball America. For both of you guys, similar to Aaron's question, how much pride do you guys have in what you guys have been a part of these last 2 seasons, getting back to Omaha last season, back-to-back this year, getting Stanford baseball back to that stage after it had been a little while?
True start.
I mean, I think, growing up, going to Stanford games, and, seeing a lot of great players come through, whether it be Cal Quantrill or Mark Appel, and Nico Horner, seeing a lot of great teams, and, those teams never made it to Omaha. And to be a part of a team like this, and the team last year as well, like it's something I'm going to tell my kids about, and it's something that we're all going to be able to share for the rest of our lives. And I'm going to be friends with these guys till the day I die. And I think that's, it's great to make it to Omaha. It's great to, play for a national title. But, like, ultimately, what I'm more happy about is that both of those teams got to play baseball longer than a lot of other teams did. And we got to spend a lot more time together and share a lot more memories together that other teams didn't. And I think that's just really, really special.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, we didn't have the best year. Got off to a tough start, got banged for COVID, and then the next 2 years completely flipped the script. And I'm super proud of all of my teammates and all the guys for having that resiliency and kind of defying all odds at that point in time. And I think we should be really proud of this accomplishment. I mean, we made it back-to-back years. And so I'm super happy and proud of everybody else. And I think we're leaving in good hands. I think we'll be back here. And yeah.
Okay. Guys, thank you. Congratulations on a great season, and we're excused. And we'll have questions for Dave here.
Thank you.
Okay. Mitch, you got one?
Mitch Kutcher, CWS 247. Coach, when you look back at the time on the guys who just played their final game for Stanford and the time they spent here, what's going to stick out to you most when you look back in future years?
God, I'm going to tell you just the memories, right? And we talked about playing for memories. I mean, whether it's the day we clinched the Pac-12 title, that feeling, the day we won the Pac-12 tournament title, and those feelings of celebration. Winning a regional, and pulling that out, just those memories and celebration those guys had, and then a super regional. I mean, that's a lot of positive and great memories that our team had. And, a couple of games in Omaha that don't turn out the way you'd like has no chance of overshadowing what this team has accomplished and our feelings about them. And, and probably behind the scenes, you pull back the curtain, being the number 2 ranked team and getting to Omaha. I think our coaches and we all take pride that everyone had that perception of us. But we almost feel like if we can do it with the pieces we had now, look out, we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, Eric.
Hey, Dave. Eric Sorensen of D1 Baseball. You kind of answered a little bit of it just now, but you're one of the most positive guys I know. So what's your positive spin on this? Like the state of the program now. You've been to 2 straight trips here to Omaha. What's it going to be the key moving forward, coming back again next year or in the years ahead?
Yeah, you know what? I think continue. Obviously, Coach Thomas Eager does a tremendous job recruiting. Does a tremendous job preparing our pitchers. As our program continues to grow, and it's going to be just consistency of that, right? We're continuing to get good players and train them well, I feel great about where we're at as far as getting the last 2 years to Omaha, and probably not have our pitching staff as stacked as we would like to when we get here, but good enough to get to Omaha and compete. And and I think we have pitchers who are here now that will, with improvement, are going to be the type that will be able to emerge to the front line and help us even more than they did this year. And I don't even feel like it's positive spin in the sense that I just, like I said, this team has accomplished so much, and to have culture changers like Brock Jones. I mean, we're going to miss a guy like that, but that's a generational type player that we had a chance to to coach. And you don't get a player like that who's the most talented, who's the hardest worker, and is an unbelievable student, and he keeps everybody loose, and he's the biggest advocate for what we preach and backs whatever the coaches say. You don't always get that, and to have a guy to be, to come into our program with one idea is get to Omaha, and to see him fulfill that prophecy and work for it and try to gather the guys around him to do that. His imprint and mark will be on the program for as long as I'm there, and and that's when you have a strong program, is when people leave your program and the players and the coaches feel like, how are we going to replace that guy? Versus, thank God that guy's gone. It's going to be way better without him, right? You never want that guy. And so we have a lot of those, depending on the Cody Huffs, who will probably have an opportunity to sign, and Alex Williams, just senior after senior. And I'll be honest, our program, to the point is, we have people who impact our program who don't even play. I mean, they're just energy and work ethic and positivity. They show up every day, and they make it impossible for the guys who get to play that they get to take a day off. Because if they're inputting the effort, the guys who represent them on the field, there's a little pressure for them to make sure that they can keep up with the guys who don't play.
Okay, we got a Zoom call. Name and affiliation and question, please.
Yeah, Steve Kroner from the San Francisco Chronicle. Dave, first, congrats on a great season. If you were going to use, you've probably touched on this in the last 10, 15 minutes, but if you were going to use 4 or 5 adjectives to describe the 2022 Stanford Cardinal, what would those adjectives be?
God, well, one of the, and I don't even know if they're adjectives, and I should because I went to Stanford, but I'm going to give you 5 words that I'm going to remember, right? And one is just I talk about memories all the time, and just the memories that we created with this group are some that I will never forget, right? And with people that I will never forget. The toughness that we talk about, just the guys who bought into being really good at the confrontation of baseball, and they really trusted us that what we were doing was going to help them get better. And I think the trust factor of our players with our coaches, whether it's our hitters with our hitting coaches and myself, or with the pitchers with Coach Eager. I mean, that trust factor is you have to have that in order to let us coach them pretty hard. I think the brotherhood, and I'm always going to say that, the brotherhood that our program has off the field, in the locker room, outside, off the baseball field, is something that it's been a focus of mine, that we need to have good people that will bond together and maybe have an understanding and empathy with each other, that they can be closer than just teammates. And that's one of the reasons we're here, and to say that we have all the mechanics necessary to be a top 8 team, or for the country to think that we're the number 2 ranked team in the country, that has everything to do with our culture of our program, and not necessarily anything to do whether we were that team on paper.
Okay, we have time for one more question back here.
Jake McKeever, CWS 247. Coach, what was kind of the message today following the first loss? Because it seemed like the team kind of came out with a little bit more fire today. So what was the message?
We talk a lot. We just getting back to ourselves, right? And we do such a good job competing and trying to stay loose, and just try to bring our real selves to the field. I thought, Drew Dow did a great job allowing us to just come out there and try to get into the flow of the game. And they just won a couple of the bigger moments, right? They won a couple of the bigger moments. I think the runner at third, less than 2 outs, and infield in, and they get 2 of the best hitters in the country out. That's a big moment. And then we have the bases loaded, and maybe be able to just knock the lead down a little bit, maybe get them a little worry, and weren't able to do that. And then quite frankly, right, them coming up with big hits, and I say it all the time because it has to happen on our side. You can hope all the support players do all they can to help you, but sometimes your guy's got to beat their guy, right? I mean, it's just you can't escape it. Sometimes the best players on your team have to beat the best players on their team, and there's a couple of those moments, and they were able to come on top today, but. Again, nothing will take away from my positive feeling about our team and the season. There's not There's not one thing that anyone could say, and it's probably out there, right? Probably the first time that Stanford has gone 0-2 in the College World Series. That doesn't even detract from anything that this team did. Not at all.
Dave, thank you, and congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, thanks, Eric.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah.